Welcome to Let's Talk Wellness Now. I'm your host, Dr. Deb. This is where we talk about everything wellness and learn to defy aging and live our lives on our own terms. Welcome back to Let's Talk Wellness Now. Today, we are going to talk all about habits. This is such an exciting topic because, habits can make or break our lifestyles, and it can help us reach paths and accomplish things so much quicker and so much more efficiently than doing things without a plan, right? So my guest today is going to talk to you about habit rewiring and how to eradicate old limiting habits and beliefs. I'm so excited to talk to her about this because, so many times we use those limiting beliefs as ways for us to not accomplish things or not take the challenge or the stride in doing that. So I can't wait for you guys to meet Lunid Lewis, who is the founder and CEO at Best Morning Routine Ever. She is a PhD, author, keynote speaker, and fellow podcaster. Lunid is a habit psychologist, a best-selling author, professor, and host of the Best Morning Routine Ever, which is the fastest growing habit-building company. She has helped high performers and business owners worldwide create winning morning routines and habits to optimize their performance with minimal time, effort, and frustration. I can't wait to hear what she's got to say, you guys. We can all use this information. She is going to talk to us about how she combines the best neuroscience psychology with unique habit building methods for permanent lasting change. Habit rewiring quickly gets at the heart of your subconscious issues that are causing you physical and emotional blockages. Gosh, does anybody relate to that? There are some days I feel like I have an entity attached to me. Once we access the subconscious mind, we transform unwanted, self-limiting behaviors, beliefs, and habits into more productive ones in weeks versus months and even years. Can you imagine trimming off months of wasted time where you could accomplish something quicker, faster, easily, more effectively? Could you imagine how we could all impact the world with this kind of information? Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited and cannot wait to introduce you to Lunid. And you don't have to wait any longer. She is going to tell us all about herself, and we are going to have a great conversation today.
Today's episode is brought to you by Vibrant Female. Now, we're all trying to build a fulfilled life, one that's exciting, fun, and leaves us fulfilled and energized. But we don't all have the energy, the drive, or the bodies we want. So I've created the Vibrant Female Coaching Program. And I have just recorded a training on how to supercharge your life with maximum brain function, optimal energy, and yes, I'm going to say it, mind-blowing sex, and reawaken the female goddess inside of you. Now, who wants this amazing free webinar? If you do, just hop over to vibrantfemale.com/training, and it'll be in the show notes here as well. And you can get access to this free program where you can learn all about the things that I did to regenerate my life, get the body that I want, and yes, have mind-blowing sex as well while running a business, taking care of clients, and raising my family. So check us out. It's the Vibrant Female Health Program, and it is at vibrantfemale.com. And for your free webinar training, it's vibrantfemale.com/training.
So we are back, and I am with Dr. Lunid. Welcome to the show.
Dr. Deb, thank you so much for having me. I am excited to dive right in with you.
Me too. I can't wait to have this conversation with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a psychologist by nature, and I was working in corporate America and was not fulfilled, not quite happy. And so I wanted to use my degree to make a difference. And so I realized I am passionate about habits,
Mm.
how to build habits, how to break habits, replace habits. All of it just was fascinating for me and how the brain works. And so I dive into more neuroscience and the psychology of things and realize the power behind our habits and how once we make our habits, then they make us was mind blowing for me. And so that's how I really got started was I needed to improve my own habits per se. Like I didn't have a morning routine initially, and I was struggling trying to find a path. And so I started studying successful people. Like, what does Tony Robbins does? Like in the morning, that makes them that sets them apart. Oprah Winfrey, what do they do? And then I realized after reading about them that they had rituals, they had disciplines, they had principles put in place that they do every single day that prime them for the day. And I was blown away by that. And so I started talking to other entrepreneurs. I was like, what do you guys do? What are your success habits? What are those? And how does that help you be have a thriving business? And that's how the Best Morning Routine Ever podcast started. And it was me talking to millionaires and successful business owners all over the globe about their habits. And I mean, the journey has been a whirlwind from there.
Oh, I love that idea because everyone has a different set of habits, right? We think everybody does the same routine. We get up, we shower, we put our hair up, we put our makeup on. The guys get dressed, they put their suit on or whatever. But there's so much more in those habits from the mindset aspect, not the physical doing aspect, but it's more the mindset, correct?
Right, because that's the external. When we get up and we dress up, that's the outer appearance. But the morning routine is, as you say, it's a mental preparedness for the day. And that's the best way to prepare yourself, because if you feel good, then you look good. It kind of exudes, right? It comes out, it show up in your face, in your hair, in your smile, in your eyes. But a lot of us, we think about morning routine, just as you explained, is getting up, doing our hair, doing our makeup, brushing our teeth, and walking out the door. And a lot of time it's rushing out the door, yes, right? And not having enough time to make it to the office, to get to the next meeting. And what we're forgetting is the time of quietness that it takes in the morning to actually get grounded, to spend that moment in gratitude, to spend that moment in intentional silence. That is powerful enough to actually help you de-escalate with anxiety, depression, because we're so focused on fixing the outer shell. We don't focus on actually working on the inner work, doing the inner work to help with, the illnesses that we experience nowadays, anxiety for one of them, and depression. So the morning routine is an inside job.
I love that. I can relate to this so well because I was always one of those people that just got up and did what I needed to do, and I'd exercise or I'd walk or I'd do whatever. But I was, a few years ago, I was recording every day how my business life was like. And it was at a really not great time in my business life. I was struggling a lot. We had a lot of employee turnover. It was just prior to COVID, pandemic starting.
Yeah.
And what I realized when I listened back to it was I would get up in the morning and the first thing I would do was reach for my phone and I'd take a deep breath and I'd be like, oh God, who's calling in sick today or who's doing this? And I'd wake up to text messages from my office manager that were so negative. And I'd sit there and I'd hold my head and I'd be like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. And so what I did was I said to her, you know what, from this time to this time in the morning, don't text me, don't call me. Wait until after this time. And so I started my practice and I don't know how I ever got out of the habit, but it's a habit, right? But I got out of the habit of not meditating, not reflecting, not doing my spiritual work in the morning. And I'd go directly to this negative pattern that was happening. And I was so overwhelmed and so witchy to everybody, because I'd start the day off and then on my drive to work, I'd be like, all over in my head, And by the time I got to work, I just wanted to strangle someone. And so I made that little change of just going back and saying, no, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to do my spiritual practice. I'm going to allow this sacred time for me to put my head in a different space. Then you can call me. Then you can tell me all the bad things that are happening. And I found that it was easier for me to deal with that negativity when I started the day right. It made such a huge difference for me. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that healthy, you set a healthy boundary. And it's important because you're now putting yourself first. And that's what's important. It's a form of self-care, Dr. Deb, if you look at it. It's saying, I'm just like the airplane, put your mask on first before you help those around you. Because if you are not well, you're useless to everyone else. And especially as a business owner, as a business, as an entrepreneur, we have 100 emails coming at us every second. We have employees coming at us. So there's no wonder we experience burnout and mental exhaustion because we're making so many decisions throughout the day. And that's the beauty of the morning routine. The ritual is actually to prepare you so you can be ready for whatever the day throws at you, because it's gonna throw some stuff. Right. It's gonna throw quite a bit your way. But if you are starting on a bad foot, what I call a negative energy or a negative vibe, which is our default, right? Because we have 60,000 thoughts a day, 90% of them are negative, and we wake up with the same ones from yesterday. So it's a momentum. It's a cycle that we're living. And so the morning routine gives you that opportunity to break that cycle. Gives you that opportunity to interrupt the pattern. And when you can interrupt that pattern, then you can approach your next task or your next challenge, whatever the problem is, in a more calm state where you feel more in control. That's what the morning routine does. It kind of puts you back in control of your time, control of your day, and it really frees you up because then you can say, I'm not playing catch up. I'm not chasing time. Like I'm controlling who and where my time goes. And that's what it gives you. And the simple things like making your bed every day, that tiny act puts you in control. Not only that, but it allows you to accomplish your first task of the day. And that helps you release serotonin, that sense of reward that you accomplish something. And from there, that's a great place to start because then you're going to breed more productivity throughout the day. You're going to be on a goal motion. You're ready to go. You're ready to tackle things on your list and you're ready to have those tough conversations because you made your bed. That takes 30 seconds. And it's as simple as that. The morning routine does not have to be 5 hours long. It doesn't have to be rigorous, but the act of making your bed when you get out of bed or drinking a glass of water the minute you open your eyes instead of reaching for that phone makes you, puts you in a present state of mind, but also hydrating, Dr. Deb, as you know, the brain is, it's over 70% water. So you've been asleep for 5 to 8 hours. So it's parched, it's dehydrated. And that's what brain fog is. That's what those racing thoughts are deriving from because there's not enough water. And so when you drink water, it not only wakes you up, but it actually hydrates the brain so you can think better.
I love that tip. That's amazing. People don't realize that at all because most people start their morning routine with coffee, right? Or tea or something to pick them up. But you're absolutely right. If we don't start with morning water and rehydrating ourselves, that could set us off in a problem. And so many of our clients complain about brain fog and memory and focus. And there's something else that you mentioned with the serotonin, just getting that little serotonin lift, that lack of serotonin adds to that focus and concentration issue. So are there other little things that people can do to raise the serotonin naturally without realizing they're even doing it?
Yeah. So the another simple way, and I love these three so much, there's meditation, but there's gratitude. The act of gratitude that puts you in a state of well-being because you can't anxiety cannot live where there's gratitude, where we are grateful. Those two cannot coincide, right? So the act of one thing that I do and the entrepreneurs on my show do is they come up with 3 things that they're grateful for in the morning.
Mhm.
First thing in the morning, after they have their glass of water, what are they grateful for? And I have a journal next to me that I just list 3 of them. A lot of the times they're small, Dr. Deb. I'm talking about the bed. I'm grateful for a firm mattress underneath me. Or I'm grateful for this glass of water because I grew up in Haiti, and growing up, we didn't have access to clean water. Right. And so just having that clean water so easily accessible, I'm grateful. Or I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my business. I'm grateful for my podcast. I mean, the list goes on. You start listing and you'll realize, oh man, I have a lot to be grateful for. And that releases, again, that serotonin of joy, of pride, because that's what you're going to start to attract. You're slowly going to begin to attract more things to be grateful for. And then you realize, life is okay.
I love that. I keep a gratitude journal as well. And we were talking just before the show, we're getting ready for snow to fly here. So some days I'm grateful to see the sun, because in the wintertime, we can go a long time without seeing the sun, many days. And so when I wake up and it's a beautiful sunny day, I'm grateful to wake up to the sun. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my team. I'm grateful that I have warm clothes when it's 20 below. I mean, you're right. It doesn't have to be these huge, grandiose gratitude things, or we have to dig deep in finding them. We forget that sometimes it's just the little things that we take for granted.
Yeah, keeping it simple, it simple. And the act of keeping it simple, and that act of writing the things you're grateful for is a meditation within itself. Why? Because you're being optimistic, you're being positive, you're forcing your brain to be present. You're forcing your brain to be in the moment. And that's what meditation is.
Yeah.
It's focusing on your breath.
Yeah. I've learned over the years to be grateful for even the things that I don't like. Like when I wake up and I don't feel well, I'm grateful for waking up to not feel well, because it means that it's forcing my body to rest. It's telling me something that I haven't been paying attention to consciously. I try to look at things that way instead of waking up and going, oh my God, I'm sick today. I have too much to do. I don't go there anymore. I go there from the positive aspect and say, okay, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't listening. This is forcing me to listen. It's forcing me to take a down day. It's okay. I need it. And I think that's what more of us need to do. Instead of looking at all of these negative things that are happening, what's the positive that's coming out of it for us?
Yeah. The positive is you attract what you think about. So if you are waking up and says, my body ache, I'm in pain, I'm miserable, I have brain fog, my head hurts, or you're thinking about the thoughts you had yesterday, what went wrong yesterday, you're only sending that out, because I'm very spiritual as well, right? You're only sending that out to the universe, and the universe is going to say, yes, you're right. And here's more of it. Yeah. Because it doesn't know the difference. The same way, though, if you flip it and say, you know what, just like you did, I'm grateful for this pain and ache. Now I know what to address today. Like I woke up with lower back pain today. I was like, I was bending over building a mirror yesterday. So now I need to find a way to rest it. So I'm grateful for that awareness, because it's almost like the body giving you a signal, like something's wrong.
Right, exactly. The body speaks to us every day. It's just a matter of whether or not we choose to listen to it. And when we don't listen to it long enough, that's when we get bigger messages and bigger problems.
It becomes chronic. And when things become chronic, they become overwhelming. They become too hard to bear. And we can say the same for negative thoughts or limiting beliefs, right? That's how they progress, because we brush it off. We don't address it. We don't interrupt the pattern. We don't break it to actually reframe it, rewire the mind, is like I like to call it. I have a program called Habit Rewiring, where we solely focus on that. You can't build new habits with the same mindset you used to create them.
That is so true. That is so true. How does one start if they're interested in creating a daily habit, a morning habit, or an evening habit if they're a third shifter and that's their morning? How does one start by looking for habits, or what do they do?
Good question. So for habits, we just talk about the benefits. And so what are those habits, right? They're small as making your bed in the morning, drinking a glass of water. I love to start people with the things that they're already doing. that costs nothing and that does not require much effort. Because when we're building habits, we have to gradually introduce them to the brain. We have to start slow. And so you're going to drink something anyway in the morning, make it water. You do that for a couple of days. And then from there, you build upon it. You get up and you actually do make your bed. You pull your sheets over your pillow and walk away. You start slowly. So if you're looking for a habit, one example I like to give is working out or going for a walk, because we have to get up and move the body. I don't care whether you do a 5-minute stretch, you do a 10-minute walk, or you do a 30-minute strength building or an hour run. Whatever it is, the body, after being dormant for so many hours, you need to get up and move, because emotion is energy in motion. And if you've been still for so long, you need to release. Why do you think kids are always running? They got energy. They got to get rid of that, expend all that energy. We're the same way. And as adults, we don't play the way we used to as kids. And so I always encourage, like, I'm a morning person. I have a ton of energy in the morning. So I get up and go work out in the morning. My husband is like a bear. He hibernates. He doesn't work out, doesn't have the energy. He's a slow starter. By 10 a.m., he's getting going. I've been up since 4. Okay. So for him, he will get up and make our smoothie, but he would do, say 10 jumping jacks before he gets to his desk. Why is that? Energy, emotion is energy in motion. You have to move. If it's a stretch, if it's jumping jacks, anything to kind of get the heart rate going first thing in the morning will, 1, give you that alertness, 2, give you, bringing serotonin back to the brain, helping you think better. And 2, it's, you can tailor it to what you need. Here's how. Let's say you don't currently work out. You have to set your environment for it. So morning routine does start the night before. As you know, you got to prepare the night before. And the entrepreneurs that come on my podcast, they live by this. They swear by it. And so you have to start the night before. Say in the morning, you would like to start a habit of going for a walk for 10 minutes. So what you would do the night before is actually take your shoes and put them by the door. That's a cue. You're now triggering your brain when you wake up in the morning and you look at your front door, there's a pair of sneakers there that you're going to remember the night before. You intentionally put it there so you can act and execute this morning. That's how the habit building process starts, because it's a loop. You got to have a trigger. Your environment plays a big role in that trigger. And then for you to act, which is the action of putting it on and actually going to walk, is what you do. You execute. So you put your shoes on the next day. Now, you can start very small and put the shoes on and take them off and don't even open your door. That repetition is being registered in your brain. And that's all you need to do. It's almost like hacking the brain, but you got to know how to do it. So taking the shoes off, you now have something in motion. And it's being repaired. If you repeat it the following day, it'll be easier for the brain to lace up the shoes now. And now you can actually open the door and step outside. Now it's going to be no strain, no resistance whatsoever, because again, repetition is the key to building habit. And you might as well start small and start slow, because once you get going, it's going to be very hard for you to break it. Just like breaking the habit of drinking coffee is hard. You started small, you had low tolerance to it, you build tolerance, and now if you stop, you got problems.
Right? Now you don't feel so well.
Nope. Because that's what habits are for. Habits build or created to solve your problem. And so if you want to break a habit, you have to replace it with something else. That's why you can't just stop drinking coffee. You gotta replace it with tea, and then eventually replace that tea with water. You get where I'm going with this? Yep. Because the brain needs that caffeine. It's a reward, is what it's seeking. We behave in certain way because we are seeking a reward at the end of that behavior. And that's precisely what our habits do. Good or bad?
How long does it take to break a habit? If you have a bad habit, how long approximately will it take to break a habit when you replace it with a better habit?
Right. I was going to correct you. You do not break a habit. You replace a habit. You're following. You're with me. You replace a habit. And that can take between from 7, depending on the magnitude of the habit, from 7 to about 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Repetitive, repetition, doing it over and over again until it's to the point like where you don't even think about it anymore. And you're just doing it. It's almost like driving, right? Remember when we were first learning how to drive, how we were so vigilant about checking all our mirrors, hands on the steering wheel, and we were just cautious and very scared and alert. 3 months after getting our license, what happens?
It's a habit. It's comfort. We don't worry about it anymore. Yeah.
We're so relaxed. Now we're driving home. We don't even remember taking the turn on Main Street to get to the house. That behavior has moved from the conscious mind, which is 5% of the brain that we use daily, to the subconscious mind, which is 95%. We are on autopilot, Dr. Deb.
Gotcha.
Everything we do is on autopilot. So again, we get to that autopilot via repetition, via doing it over and over again. When you do something over and over again, a connection is made between neurons that actually connects a new pathway. So now you remember that it's almost like muscle memory. You remember that pathway, you remember that programming, where like riding a bike, you don't have to think twice anymore to pedal, to balance. That's how powerful the brain is. And that's what habits do. It sounds small to a lot of people, but that's how powerful they shape our life. You show me your habits and I'll tell you about your life and where you're going, because that determines your longevity, that determines how successful you are. So yeah, it takes about 7 to 20 to 4 weeks to build it, but it's that repetition. So the example with the running, now this is day 3, right? Day 1, you put the sneakers out. Day 2, you put the sneakers and you lace them up. Day 3, you stepped outside the door. And then day 4, you're actually going for a 10 minute walk. And the reward at the end of that, 1 is that sense of accomplishment that you get. 2 is that serotonin, that release that you get from being outdoors, from being in nature, from breathing fresh air, from moving the body, because that is the reward you seek. So now the goal is, whenever you feel stressed, whenever you feel anxious, you would bypass the television, you would bypass the wine, you would bypass the smoking, and just go straight to the run, because it'll give you that same reward those other activities would have given you.
Oh, that is amazing. I love that. I love how you brought that full circle to it's going to be hard at the first part, but we just keep building and building and building on it. And then before you know it, it's that subconscious, just like when we're driving, we just do it. And then we feel better and we know it. And we may not logically know it or be conscious about it. We just know that this is our routine. This is what I do. And this is what makes me feel better.
Absolutely.
What are some of the best morning habits that you've heard from the successful people you've spoken to over the years?
Yeah, it was uncanny, Dr. Deb, the numerous habits that kept coming up. It was some of the same similar ones. And I was like, mind blown. It's so simple. And it was so simple and so easy for them that I decided I'm going to put this in an app. So I created the Hit Savers app, and it's actionable items that you can do in the morning. And each letter stands for an acronym. And these are the things that entrepreneurs are doing on a daily basis. And it ranges from 10 minutes to an hour in the morning, because you got to allocate that time for self-care before you rush, you let the world in. Because the minute you touch your phone, you've now given your agenda over to the world. It's no longer your own anymore, because now you're answering emails, you're answering texts, you're feeling all the things that happen overnight, you're solving problems, and then the day just got away from you. So a few of them that the entrepreneurs have mentioned, or drinking water first thing in the morning. The minute you open your eyes, having the glass of water on your nightstand, put it there the night before so that it's ready so you can hydrate first thing in the morning. And then following that is the gratitude. Finding 3 things you're grateful for, and what I'm grateful for today. Kind of gives you more things to find to be grateful for throughout the day. And then from there, I like to say, time's up. Get your butt out of bed and make your bed. Make your bed. And then once you make your bed, you can do a 5-minute meditation. They do that. It's intentional silence. And they go on to exercising, moving the body, as I like to say, because I don't want to scare people with exercising in the morning, but move the body, stretch, and they do some reading. Every successful entrepreneurs are reading 20 to 30 minutes a day, because you got to feed the mind. Just as you feed the body, you got to feed the mind, because garbage in, garbage out. If it's gossip, if it's not learning something, self-development to empower you, to help grow your business, to learn a sales strategy, then your business will not outgrow your growth. That makes sense?
Yes.
If you don't grow, then your business won't grow. And in layman's term. And then from there, one of the most shocking thing that I hear from entrepreneurs is that they take cold showers.
Yes.
You've heard that one too?
Windhoff method. Yes. I've done that. I used to do that every day, and then I kind of got out of the habit of it, and I keep getting back to, I need to do this. But I like warm showers, but there is something very powerful to that cold shower, or even just the cold at the end of the shower.
At the end of the shower, is what I encourage. What do you think that benefit is?
It's so invigorating. It helps with circulation. I'm going to say it helps with production of neurotransmitters, but I'm not sure which ones it would do that to. Yeah,
it does. We have brown fat on our back. So we have regular fat in the abdominal area. We have brown fat that the cold shower stimulates. Kind of helps you burn that off, helps with maintaining weight. And so this has been going on for ages, right? And so the other mental piece of it that I gathered is it makes you comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes. Good point. Yeah.
Think about that throughout the day. How many times you're uncomfortable and you just kind of shy away from it or run away from it? Don't have that conversation. Don't speak your mind. Or over speak your mind. But if you can actually put your body through that discomfort for 30 seconds in the morning, then what else can you do?
Yeah, right? It gives you that power, right? And that mindset that you can be uncomfortable. You can conquer things. If you can handle this, you can handle other things as well.
Right. That's just right before you leave your house. You've already feel so empowered, so accomplished by doing these little things. And so I put them in an app. It's like Hit Savers app. It's on iTunes. It's free. You try it for a week and start seeing the difference. But you are applying this stuff, but it's working scientifically. It's psychologically, it's designed to work so that your brain, you hack the brain. Essentially, it's not just checking things off the list, but it's hacking the brain so that you can improve in other areas in your life, because that's what the morning routine is. It's not just the physical appearance where, we put on makeup, we look good for the day. This is long term. This is like going to improve your life on the long run type of thing. And that's what makes it so powerful.
I love that. That is such a good, I love ending on that. So, Dr. Lunid, if people are resonating with what you're doing, they want to get access to you more, how do they do that?
Yes, absolutely. So I have the podcast, Best Morning Routine Ever, where I talk to successful entrepreneurs like yourself, Dr. Deb, and we talk about more mindset, habits, the power of it, and how to do it with ease. And so the podcast, wherever you're listening to this one, you can find mine as well. But also try the Hit Savers app. The Hit Savers app is on iTunes. It's on Google, Android as well. And get connected there. Start there, and then find my website is bestmorningroutineever.com, and you can find everything about habits. You can connect with me there, shoot me a message, and I would love to walk you through your current morning routine and the steps you can take to actually improve it tomorrow.
I love that. So if any of you are driving or working out while you're listening to this, don't worry about the links that she gave you. We'll have them in the show notes, so you can just hop right over, click them, and go over to her things that she's offering for you. This has been such a great conversation. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it has been really great sharing this time with you guys on the Let's Talk Wellness Now podcast. If this episode has helped you, or you feel as though this episode would help someone else, we'd love for you to leave us a review, share this podcast. And if you don't want to miss the most exciting episodes we have coming, we'd love for you to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google Play. Until next time, live every day to the fullest.